So this is a no spill drink holder that is a build from a project from a class. I don't know how it's going to go, but it looked pretty cool. So it's got a bar at the back that is attached to the seats, and it has a cushion at the front, plus a little bit of support from side to side, because in the testing we discovered that it moved side to side and then fell down. So hopefully we adjust that a little bit and the back is more tight. And then here is the part that is supposed to allow for forward and backward motion and also side to side. And the idea is that this is going to be better than this. So this is the test, and I realize now that my covering of this is covering up the line at the top, so we're not going to get a good video of this, but we will be able to test what happens up here. So in theory, this is 90% filled, which is very full. And if we did well, then our use of that one is going to be worse than our use of that one. And so we've got one of these that just has paper at the top that's very susceptible to water. We also have some tea coloring to make that a little more pronounced. And we're going to put one down here and one up here. All right, so the test is already a problem because this width and height is bigger than the can, which was designed for. And I don't know if you can see, but those are meant to be sunk in the side, and I wasn't able to do that. So the width from the 2 points is actually preventing this from going in all the way. So it's not getting a good seat, and the height of it is over where that cup is. The bottom that I have, which was from the prototype of an earlier one that was just made with duct tape, is pretty secure, but it doesn't lower enough. It's as low as it can go safely and still be adhered to. So this cup is not going to work. This experiment is not going to work there, but we can still test what happens there, and we can still see the effects of what happens up there. I'm going to open it up because that's what I would do. Take a sip for good luck.
Scratch on the top.
And if this falls, it's just going to be water, so it's not the worst thing. We're going to be looking at this. I'm going to back out very slowly first because our test is going to be acceleration. So we're going to get into a position. So it's swinging pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure that's a good thing or a bad thing. All right. Do a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's not spilling.
Okay, we're also going to do the brake.
Ah, that scared me. It didn't spill.
This one did.
That one spilled, this one didn't.
That is pretty nice.
That is awesome.
All right. So we're going to make an adjustment. There are a couple things that happen. One is I didn't secure this. This was meant for a later thing. So it ran into and fell over here. So I want to make sure on the video that this spilled on its own from the acceleration and not because it got bumped into.
It did. I saw. I was watching it the whole time.
Excellent. So this one spilled, this one did not. Now this one is spilled because we turned. And one of the reasons is this kept it from doing stuff. So it actually made it, go further. So I'm going to dry this off a little bit. Although the tea didn't really do a whole lot, but can you see that?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not on camera.
So this is where the spill was, and you can see how it goes over, and all the parts that are pen, are starting to run as well. So the swerve. Probably should have wiped that down. here's our swerve test. Gonna take a little sharp turn.
Ooh, that definitely spilled. I could see it leaking.
So what spill? I mean, both of these are things. So yes. Oh wow! Look at that.
Oh wow!
Look how much that
you
covered.
Can't see it on the camera because of the lighting, but that.
Let's pull over here.
If I do.
Ugh, it's enough that it tore it.
Look at that. And you can kind of see it on camera.
Yeah. So there was a lot that came out of that. Now there it is. So you ready?
Yeah.
This is a big one. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at what happened. I do see a spillage there. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it looked more like it went side to side, but we have it on both sides, which is also interesting. So it wasn't just like going to one side or forward or back. It's actually showing that it's waving back and forth. I mean, the way it's much more level than the previous iteration of it, but it is still leaning. Oh, crap. Yeah, so there was a bit of a disaster here. While we were turning slowly, that top one fell, which caused the whole contraption to fall, which caused that mess. So now this is not quite as full as it used to be for our test, but we're just going to move forward. All right, so we want to go down Grant, and we're going to go quickly. Okay, so the problem with this is that it swung back and forth, and it was enough that this motion pulled it off. And the way that I had been doing this was just to try to make it so it would stay on for the purpose of testing, but I could remove it. So there's this drywall tape that has a lot of texture to it and stickiness and stuff. It's been working pretty well for like that's behind the ones that weren't quite fitting. It was a way to pad that, and so that's pretty secure. But because this turns and because there's a lot of pressure on this force, that it just pulled it right off. So I don't think I have a choice right now if I want this to try to work today, but to epoxy this to the sides. So my fear is that if I get too close to the edge, that this thing won't turn. I already experienced some of that if I made this too thick, because then it interfered with the spinning of it. And it doesn't have to spin, you know, like a fidget spinner necessarily, but it does have to have, you know, unimpeded motion. And so the that epoxy